Welcome to the Youthful Kitchen Cultivators by the Meal Prep Artists. Hey everybody, it's summertime. I hope you are all enjoying it as much as I am. Today we are going to make some steak. And this isn't just your ordinary steak. This is the juiciest steak. So good, so tender. Let's get it done. If this is your first time joining us, let me tell you my why. I have always loved working in the food industry as a server, bartender in the restaurant business. Growing up on a large farm in the Midwest has given me inspiration to help others learn how to eat wisely and how to spend their money sensibly on food. We also use ingredients that are very inexpensive, and most of the time you have them right in your cupboard. I find it most important to teach the youth how to grow their own food and bring it straight from the garden right to the table. Join us on our video podcast as we learn to make healthier choices with our food and be able to make food that is delicious in such little time. All right, here's your ingredients. Steak, like a round steak, that would work. Sirloin steak, whatever kind of steak cut you want, doesn't matter. Just get your cut of steak that you would like. Then you're going to get a package of cherry tomatoes, just the little tiny round cherry tomatoes. Some baked potatoes. I use 2. And you know those little Mozzarella Pearls? Grab a package of those. And 1 onion and whole mushrooms, that like the large mushrooms that you'd have to chop up. And then just some olive oil. Now going back to the cherry tomatoes, if you aren't a tomato fan, that's fine. We're not using the tomatoes to necessarily eat. We're using them to help make this steak tender. What a lot of people don't realize is the acid in the tomatoes helps as a tenderizer in meat. So whenever you want some meat tenderized, you can use tomatoes to actually tenderize your meat. Now for the fun part. Okay, so we are going to pre-cook your potatoes to make the baked potatoes. I use an air fryer. It helps soften my potatoes. I also cut a line vertically down the center of them to allow for them to get kind of cooked a little quicker. Sometimes I'll put some olive oil and salt on the skins, and that can help too. So go ahead and get those started. Next, you want to grab your cast iron pan. Get it hot. So yes, warm it up on the stove. Now, I don't want it smoking, obviously. So, like a medium high or medium, but we want it hot to the touch. You're going to add some oil to saute your mushrooms and your onions. Once those are finished, you're going to set them aside. Then make sure to coat your steak in olive oil and all of the seasonings that you would like in your flavoring of your steak. Now we're just going to sear the outside of the steak using that hot pan that we just got done sauteing our mushrooms and onions with. So you want to go ahead and just lay it in there. You're going to hear it sizzle. That is good. And maybe about 30 seconds on each side. If you have a really thick cut of steak, go ahead and leave it a little longer, maybe 60 seconds on each side. Then you are going to turn your oven on to broil, but put it on the low setting. Once you have that ready, you're going to return your steak to your cutting board, slice the steak so you can see all of the red meat on the inside. Now, grab your cast iron skillet and the steak in the middle of the pan. I use a flat pan with like these short sides, but you're going to pour your tomatoes all over the top of that meat. Make sure you pierce each tomato. This allows for the acidic part of the tomato to keep your meat very tender. Add your baked potatoes. Make sure the tops are sliced open to get that good baking on them. Add your mushrooms and onions next to your steak and potatoes. Pour your mozzarella pearls all over, oil included. Set the pan in the oven on the lower rack and then broil for about 10 minutes. Keep an eye on your cheese and the steak is the color you like. I hope you enjoy this. It is so delicious and healthy. You can find my podcast on all podcast platforms. Check out all the links available in the podcast notes. Join me next week where we will be making homemade, fresh pesto. Yum! Before I go, I want to say thank you so much to everybody. Season 2 here has just exploded on podcasts for me, all because of great listeners like you. Keep listening and sharing with all your friends, all your family. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For any questions or advertisements, please send us a text in the show note link. Bye, friends. See you next week.